Waycross, Georgia is in a crisis of neglect, from collapsing homes to overwhelmed pet shelters. Tonight, the city manager is saying on social media that they're fighting a crisis they just can't keep up with. Our Biljana Garland spent today in the middle of what the city manager calls, quote, Waycross's biggest problem.
The city manager, Ulysses Rayford, says he's working on about 300 to 400 cases of irresponsible pet ownership and abandoned properties like what you see right behind me. He says it's the two biggest issues here in Waycross, but he says he's not releasing any lists of the abandoned properties or names of the people involved in the cases because he says he doesn't want to shame them.
It's a big problem.
Overgrown grass, boarded up windows, and holes in the roof. That's what the city of Waycross, Georgia is trying to fix. While city manager Ulysses Rayford says they already tore down almost 90 homes in the past 2 years, he says they have many more to go.
Probably about half of the cases of the what we call blighted properties. They just don't have the money to fix the homes.
He says it takes about $3,000 to $5,000 of taxpayer money to knock abandoned homes down.
But when we do that, the property value goes down. So it's like a double-edged sword. You don't want the ugly house there, but now you got a ugly yard there because it still belongs to that property owner.
He says the 5 code enforcement officers are stretched thin, saying that's something the public doesn't see because cleaning up each abandoned home can take 18 months.
It's easy to say they're not doing anything.
He says the issue is homeowners not cleaning up their property even after the city mandates it, and that is forcing the city to take them to court using more taxpayer money. He says many of the worn-down homes belong to elderly people who can't keep up with the property anymore, and their family members aren't around to help. Leaving these homes alone, the city manager says, creates severe safety issues.
When I first got here, I fell through a floor one time just looking at an inspection, you know.
Rayford says another huge problem is neglected pets. He says the shelters are packed, forcing them to euthanize animals. He says he wants to spay and neuter the stray animals, but he says it's just not possible.
If we did, the thousands of cats that we have running around, we would be broke. I mean, it's not really in the budget.
But Rayford says he plans to shuffle things around in the budget to make it possible. The city manager says that anybody dealing with a worn-down home, he says to just contact the city because he says that there's a group of volunteers that can help clean up the properties and actually connect the homeowners to different resources to make sure that their home stays safe. And as far as the abandoned animals issue, he says that anybody struggling with pets, he says to just call the animal shelter or try to find somebody to foster the pets. He says that's a better option or a better alternative to leaving them out on the street. In Waycross, I'm Biljana Garland. First Coast News on your side.